If you're thinking about renting in Laguna Woods Village, there is one thing you need to understand right away. This is not like renting in a typical neighborhood apartment complex or standard condominium community. There are two separate approvals, the paperwork is more structured, and if you do not understand the process early, it can create delays, stress, and confusion. But here's the good news. When it is handled properly, leasing in Laguna Woods Village can actually be very smooth. In this video, we're going to walk you through exactly how leasing works here in 2026, what makes it different, what documents are usually required, how the village approval works, what tenants and property owners need to know, what utilities are typically paid by whom, and what it's actually like to live here once you move in. So let's get started. If this is your first time here, welcome. This channel is all about Laguna Woods Village. We cover the real costs, the real rules, the real lifestyle, and how to move into or out of Laguna Woods Village with less stress and more clarity. I'm Mark Blunden, and my team and I help people move into and out of Laguna Woods Village every single day. That includes buyers, renters, property owners, sellers, and families helping loved ones make a move. So whether you're trying to rent here yourself, help a parent move here, lease out a property that you own, or simply understand how the process works before you make a decision, this video is for you. All our contact information can be found in the description below. The most important thing to understand is this. Leasing in Laguna Woods Village usually involves two separate approvals. Approval 1 is from the property owner and approval 2 is from Laguna Woods Village itself. That is the first thing that catches some people off guard. The property owner approval is the normal screening piece. That is where the owner decides whether they want to lease the property to you, usually based on credit, background, income, assets, and the overall strength of your application. Then there is the village approval, which is separate. That step is about making sure the correct paperwork is submitted for the correct HOA, your household details line up with the village requirements, and your residency and access can be set up correctly. And this is where a lot of people get confused. They think, I was approved by the property owner, so I'm done. Not quite. Or they think the village approval is another credit decision. It's not. It's a structured residency and access setup process. And when it's handled properly, it is usually very manageable. Before you do anything, you need to know which part of Laguna Woods Village you're renting in. Most rentals will fall into one of three categories: United Mutual, Third Mutual, or the Towers. Leasing rules and paperwork can vary depending upon where the home is located in the village. Insurance expectations and practical move-in details can also vary by mutual. So one of the first things we do for clients is simply confirm the mutual right away, because that helps us route the process correctly from day one. That alone prevents a lot of avoidable mistakes. Now, let's talk about the screening package, because this is the part that many renters find the most stressful. And to be honest, it can feel intrusive just how much the listing agent or property owner is asking for. That's a very real feeling. You may be asked for a full credit report, background check, even an eviction report, a rental application, proof of income, proof of assets, government identification. Often a platform like RentSpree is used, or maybe a formal rental application is required. And yes, it can feel like a lot, but it's necessary. Owners are choosing who will live in their property, and the village has its own structured approval layer after that. So the cleanest path is to accept that the process is document heavy and make your package as strong and organized as possible. And this is where a lot of people often struggle. not because they're unqualified, but because the package is incomplete, messy, hard to read, missing pages, or inconsistent. That is why our team helps renters build a clean, approval-ready application package. We help organize the documents, make sure names match, make sure income is clear, make sure all adults are properly screened, and make it easy for the property owner to say yes. Issues such as frozen credit, name mismatches, or unclear income documentation can cause friction. Let's simplify the process. Step 1, you'll find a property that you like. And step 2, you'll submit your tenant package to the listing agent or property owner. Step 3, once the property owner says yes, the village approval process begins. And that second track is what allows you to be approved to reside in the village, get the proper residency set up, and get organized for access. The big mistake is treating the first approval like it's the final approval. It's not. That's why we help coordinate both tracks in parallel so you do not get stuck in that awkward middle ground of being approved by the property owner, but not actually ready to move in because you don't have HOA approval. Insurance is another area where Laguna Woods Village can feel a little bit different, and it can actually vary by mutual. In third mutual, renter's insurance is required as a lease term with a minimum of $50,000 of coverage. This coverage will cover liability, property damage, and the replacement value of the renter's belongings. Lack of renter's insurance is treated as a material breach of the lease or rental authorization. In United Mutual, renter's insurance is strongly recommended, and in practice, many property owners will require it, even though the mutual may itself not state a hard minimum level in the same way as in third mutual. And if you have a dog, many renters choose higher personal liability limits for peace of mind, especially since some carriers have underwriting rules related to dogs. And this is one of those things we like to confirm early, because insurance should never be the reason that your moving gets delayed at the last minute. Now, let's talk about utilities, because this is a practical question renters ask all the time. In many Laguna Woods Village lease situations, the property owner will continue to pay the HOA fee, and the tenant will not pay that HOA fee directly. That matters because the HOA fee often covers a lot of the basic property-related costs that would be structured differently in a normal rental. In a typical village lease, the tenant is usually responsible for electricity and internet, while the property owner is covering the rest through the HOA fee. So the way we usually explain it is this: the property owner is carrying the HOA-based property costs, and the tenant is usually responsible for the more direct day-to-day usage items such as electric and internet. Now, of course, every lease should be read carefully because individual lease terms can vary. But this is one of the reasons some renters find Laguna Woods Village very attractive. The monthly payment structure can feel a little more predictable than in some other communities. Hi, it's Mark here. If you're exploring 55+ communities in Orange County, such as Laguna Woods Village, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, we'll walk you through everything from floor plans to financing, HOAs, and monthly costs. Call, text, email, or schedule a Zoom below. We're here to make your move simple and stress-free. Timing is everything in Laguna Woods Village. The smoothest move-ins happen when the start date matches real processing timelines and the paperwork is submitted cleanly the first time around. A lot of stress comes from unrealistic timing. People get excited, book movers too early, assume access will be immediate, or think they can compress the process into a few days when the paperwork really needs more breathing room. So what we do is create a simple timeline. We map out the screening phase, the property owner approval phase, the village paperwork phase, and the practical move-in logistics. That way, people know when it is actually safe to schedule movers, visitors, helpers, and other details. And if your timeline is tight, make sure you tell us early so we can give you a calm, realistic plan that protects your timeline. One of the first things people notice when they move in is that Laguna Woods Village is structured, and that structure can feel a little unfamiliar at first. The village uses RFID vehicle decals for resident lane gate entry, and vehicles without a decal typically use the guest lanes. That means your first week should not be treated like an afterthought. The first week should feel like a welcome, not a scavenger hunt. There are little day one and week one details that will make a huge difference to your living experience. How your vehicle access works, how guest entry works, whether you have visitors helping you move, what to do if all access items are not finalized yet, and how to get oriented so the system feels supportive instead of restrictive. That is why we like to help renters set expectations before move-in day and not after. Now, let's talk about the part that really matters once the paperwork is over. What is it actually like to live here in Laguna Woods? If you're considering renting in Laguna Woods Village, you're probably looking for more than a place to sleep. You're looking for comfort, peace of mind, and a community that feels well cared for. And that is really the appeal. Laguna Woods Village is not just housing, it's a lifestyle. It's a 55+ active, gated community with amenities, structure, security, activity, and routine built into daily life. For many residents, the experience can include morning walks, clubhouses, pools, golf, fitness centers, classes, creative spaces, a calmer pace, and a strong sense that community is maintained with intention. It's also a place where many people feel more supported than they would in a totally unstructured neighborhood. And that matters, especially for renters who are downsizing, relocating, moving closer to family, or trying out the village before buying, or helping a parent make a move here. So yes, the process is more structured, but the reason people go through that process is because the lifestyle on the other side is often exactly what they want. Now, let's talk strategy, because leasing in Laguna Woods is not just for one type of person. Renting here can be a great fit for many different people. People who want to try the village before buying, older adults helping a parent or family member make a transition, people relocating from out of state who want to learn the mutuals before committing, seasonal residents who want flexibility, and people who simply want a calm, structured place to live without buying right away. One of my favorite strategies is exactly that. Rent first, then buy smarter later. Because once you've lived here, even for a short time, you understand the village differently. You understand the gates, the mutuals, the layouts, the rhythm, the amenities, and what part of the community actually fits you best. And that's incredibly valuable. Here are some of the most common mistakes we see. Number one, treating it like a normal rental and not realizing there are different layers of approval. 2, submitting a weak or incomplete application package. Number 3, waiting too long to gather necessary documents and missing out on the rental. 4, not confirming the mutual early. 5, setting an unrealistic move-in date and then building a whole plan around it. And number 6, underestimating how helpful it is to have someone guide you through the process. Because the reality is, most of the problems here are not huge problems, they are small process problems that can turn into bigger problems if they're not addressed early. This is where our team comes in. We help people move into and out of Laguna Woods Village every single day. That includes renters, buyers, sellers, property owners and families helping loved ones through a transition. And when it comes to leasing, we help with the exact things that usually create stress: confirming the mutual, helping the renter assemble a strong package, helping property owners structure a smoother leasing process, coordinating the two approval system, setting realistic timelines, and helping day one logistics feel manageable. The items that usually create delays are mutual identification, incomplete screening packets, insurance timing, and access logistics. And that's exactly what we help people solve. Leasing in Laguna Woods Village is different. It's more structured than a typical rental. There are two approval stages. The document package can feel intrusive, but it is necessary. Different mutuals can have different rules and expectations. Tenants are often responsible for electric and internet, while property owners cover the HOA-based costs. And when the process is organized properly, the move can be very smooth. On the lifestyle side, what you're getting is not just a rental, you're getting access to one of the most unique, lifestyle-rich, active 55-plus communities in Southern California. If you're thinking about renting in Laguna Woods Village, or if you own a property here and want help navigating the leasing process properly, reach out anytime. We would love to help you confirm your mutual, build a strong application package, coordinate approvals, and make the process feel calm and supported from start to finish. Drop your questions in the comments below or contact us directly using the information in the description below. If you found this video helpful, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video on Laguna Woods Village. I'm Mark Blunden, and we will see you in the next video.